Hi everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the Photography Explained podcast. This week, what is photography? I'm your host Rick, and each week I will try to explain one photographic thing to you in plain English in less than 10 minutes without the irrelevant details. My aim is to explain things in just enough detail to help us with our photography and no more. This week, I'm starting at the very beginning, asking the question, what is photography? Well, I'm going to go a step further. What is photography to me? To start with, what exactly is photography? Well, the word photography is made from two Greek words, photos, which means light, and graphé, which means drawing. So photography is drawing with light. Apparently, it was Sir John Herschel who came up with the word photography in 1839. Yes, 1839, 181 years ago. That's a scary thought, isn't it? Just think how much the world has changed since then. Very scary, really. Okay, that's the history lesson over, and possibly the last history lesson you'll get from me. That's what photography is, but what is photography to me? Well, photography has been a huge part of my life since my early teens, and this is a long time ago, I can assure you. Photography is the thing that I've spent my entire adult life studying, learning, practicing, sharing, and enjoying. And yes, even after all these years, I still enjoy it very, very much. Photography has taken me to so many unique places and given me so many unforgettable experiences. I do feel very fortunate to have found photography, which has been a lifetime interest and joy even now when it's my actual job. Or did photography find me? Sorry, getting a bit deep there. Won't happen again, don't worry. Let me give you a few things that photography has given me. Number 1, a business that I really enjoy. The photography business is an unusual thing. It's not the 9 to 5, it's different, it's challenging, but there are some very good things about it. Being responsible for the entire business process from somebody approaching me to giving a client images is a wonderful thing. It's all my own work, it's all down to me. I get the praise if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it's on my head. So it's all fine and good, and I quite like that. I do enjoy taking photos for clients, and I really enjoy processing the photos too. I find it quite exciting. I've still got a thing about interiors when I manage to draw all the interior light out and make the space look like the architect intended it to. I still love doing that, and I love working with clients. It's very enjoyable. It's an alternative career. Like I say, it's not the usual 9 to 5. It is something very different. The hours can be ridiculous, but I'm hopefully working on that with other things, so the hours will be just how I like them. But it's my thing. It's my thing and mine alone, and that is something that I love. I've broadened my business horizons massively when I've been working commercially in photography. I've worked for many clients, met many people I would have never met. Architects, construction companies, marketing firms, householders, developers, all sorts of people in all areas of the construction industry. I've also learnt how to build websites. Back-end, boring stuff, it's not taking photos. It's an essential thing. I'm getting quite good now. I've spent enough time working on websites. Now it's time to start producing podcast episodes which go on my website and taking more photos. I've also learned how to blog, and I have a weekly blog which is becoming more than weekly at the moment, which is great. I have a YouTube channel which is remarkable. Me a YouTuber, who'd have thought it? And now I have this podcast, episode 1, which is brilliant. I also have other business and interests, including affiliate agreements with other commercial partners, mainly of products that I use. Well, I say mainly, it's only products that I use. Another thing photography has given me is something that I have a genuine expertise in. As I said, I spent most of my life studying, practicing and developing my craft, and that has given me a degree of expertise. This only really hits me when I speak to somebody who's not as experienced as me in photography, when I speak to them and they talk about things, and that makes me realise, actually, I do know quite a bit about this, which is good. Which leads me on to the next point. Things like the podcast, the blog, my website, they give me an opportunity to share my expertise and experiences with other people, which I never thought I'd say was something that I really enjoyed doing. But when somebody asks me a question on my website or asks me a question on my YouTube channel, I absolutely love it. I'm hoping that the podcast will bring more interaction from people as well. Here's hoping. Any questions, get in touch. Anything you want me to answer, please get in touch. I've also been given the blessing of so many fantastic sunrise experiences. I'm not a big sunset fan. When I say I'm not a big sunset fan, I love sunsets. Who doesn't? I love sunrises. Getting up early in the morning, especially on holiday, sneaking out on my own, sitting there waiting for the sun to rise. A wonderful thing which I've witnessed many, many times. Another thing photography's given me is an enormous range of photos from all over the world, all taken by me. and that's a fantastic thing. I've got 15 years worth of photos in my Lightroom catalogue now, which I love going back to. I've also got some very strange things like the time I photographed a gravel loading facility on the live rail network, and I also photographed some live quarries. Now these are things that people don't get a chance to witness, so I have done. So that's really good, and I feel fortunate to be able to have had these experiences. Last one is a serious one, which might surprise you. I'll read it how I've written it in my notes. The ability to produce photos that I'll try that again. The ability to produce photos that look like they were taken by someone else, i.e. a professional photographer. Yeah, I suffer from imposter syndrome on every job. When I create new photos for clients, I still look at them and I can't believe that I've done them. I feel like they've been done by a real photographer. I still have that to this day. It's not a problem, it doesn't affect me. I think it's fine to feel that way. It keeps me real and grounded and makes me value my experiences and what I've learned. Okay, that's it really. Every episode I'm going to explain something in less than 10 minutes. The aim isn't that I talk until I get to 10 minutes. I will talk for as long as I need to talk. That's photography to me, a lifetime of learning, exploring and enjoyment that I build on every day of my life. And having photography podcasts is really the icing on the cake for me. I'm enjoying this and looking forward to the next episode. Talking of which, next episode on the Photography Explained podcast. How does a camera actually work? This will not be technical. This will not be in depth. This will be the nuts and bolts of how a camera works. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a nice review and rating wherever you get your podcast from, and please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you could do me a huge favour and tell everyone you know who you think might be interested in a podcast, that would be fantastic, and you will get my thanks for that. You can also check out my website, rickmcavoyphotography.com, where you can find out all about me and my architectural and construction photography work. And you can also find my blog there, where there's lots and lots of info about not only architectural and construction photography, but photography in general. There's categories for Lightroom, all sorts in there. It's good stuff, lots of good stuff in there. My blog posts are getting much better these days. And also, this is where you will find everything to do with the podcast. There is nowhere else. It's all on rickmcavoyphotography.com. Last thing for now. Let me know if there's something you want me to explain, anything photography related, any photography thing. Let me know, email me, use the contact form, just go to my website, there's loads of ways you can get in touch with me. Check out the list on the Photography Explained podcast page and let me know, and I will add your query to the list. And if I do answer your query, which I hope to do at some point in the very near future, I will give you a shout out on that episode and also give you a link to your website if you have one in the show notes. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cheers from me, Rick.